Hey guys, I'm Greg.
And I'm Ashley.
And this is the Living and Learning Podcast. On this podcast, we speak with fascinating guests to uncover how they've experienced life change by crossing cultures,
Crossing borders,
and expanding their worldview.
So, let's dive in.
Yeah, really a wonderful conversation that you had with our Director of Operations, Meg. She does just a phenomenal job sharing both what happens during some of those excursions, but also some of the why behind why we do those trips. So we love to travel and see the region and get out from the city, but we don't want to just travel just for the sake of travel. So there's definitely a lot of thought and intentionality put into every one of those excursions and opportunities. So really good insight into what life looks like while traveling around the region. So excited for everybody to jump right in and listen to this conversation.
All right, I am so excited to be here with Meg Van Rijn, and we are going to be talking about something very fun today, and that is our excursions that happen in Ecuador. Mm-hmm. And we have so many fun things that students get to do throughout the semester. So it'd be really great to hear from Meg because she actually does a lot of the organizing and planning and details of what we do within our trips in Ecuador. So first of all, I'd love to hear, I'd give you a little rundown that we do Galapagos Islands,
Correct.
Machu Picchu.
Yep.
We go to the jungle on a missions trip.
Fun.
And then we finalize our last few days in Ecuador at the beach, which is like a beach debrief time. And I love it because I get to go and hang out with students as well.
It's the best.
So good. So let's actually start with the order that it happens in the semester.
Right.
You guys go to the jungle first.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can give me a little peek into what jungle looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. So truly, I think you'll hear more in the jungle in different podcasts, and so I won't go into too much detail about kind of the why that we're there. But while we are there, we do get to enjoy the beauty of the Amazon. And so gosh, for me, probably some highlights that we do is we go on a sunset canoe tour. So probably like the first day we get there, you get off the bus after 6 hours, you get into your hostel, get settled, and then we head on a sunset canoe tour. And yeah, we just get to watch the sunset as we are on the Misaui River, which is a blast. So that is one activity. In addition, we do a waterfall hike, and hike is a strong word here. I feel like it's more...
Have you ever wiped out on the mud on that waterfall hike? I feel like I've been a couple times and it's just really wild to try to keep your feet up.
No, for sure. I feel like it depends on how much it's rained recently, but I think there's like a semester long joke about how many times Meg is going to fall on the waterfall hike. And so nice. I bet students beforehand I'm like, okay, how many times do you think I'm going to fall? How many times do you think I'm going to fall? And then we see who wins. And typically it's ice cream that night on who wins.
Okay.
But a wipeout, but you laugh the whole time. It's a blast. So you kind of ski, hike, slide your way up into the waterfall, but then you finally arrive at this stunning waterfall. Surprise! Waterfall hike equals waterfall. Yes. But it's so fun. You can swim and just get to hang out together, and that's really a blast. And so that's a waterfall hike. And then I feel like...
And then you guys serve. You serve with Jungle Kids for Christ. So you do that.
So it kind of depends on what Jungle Kids for Christ needs from us. But we've done 3-on-3 basketball tournaments. We've done working in the classroom with them and teaching English or teaching some subject in English, helping them out. And then, of course, I think during lunchtime, during recess, you're all sudden on the swings with students and playing... Have you ever heard that Down by the Banks game? Like, I'm talking third grade. Okay, Down by the Banks, the hanky. Come on.
I grew up in Argentina, so it's hard, all those American games. Didn't ever learn.
True. The elementary American games come back out, I feel like, every time, so that's a blast.
North America. Because you're in South America, so I guess they're both Americas. Anyways, back to 3 banks on a bank.
3 banks on a bank. Yeah, so besides that, we also are taught how to make pottery by women in the community. And so that is always really fun. She kind of goes through the process of what has meant to her family to be making pottery for their life and how they do that. And then we get to create different things along the way.
Do you get to bring your pottery home with you?
Yes, but we don't get it fired.
Okay.
This is like context of people who never done pottery because I didn't know this. So
Yeah.
you like form it and there's the whole wheel that you can do it on, but we just do it all by hand. Then typically you would fire to like finish the piece, but the jungle's far away. So we take it home. Some of them make it back.
Fire it?
Well,
like,
occasionally.
Do you do it back in Quito?
Well, I haven't found a pottery place in Quito who does that yet. But also, I don't know the process. Like, how long does it have to dry before all those things?
Don't ask me. I don't know. Not a pottery expert yet.
Anyways, things we could learn about.
Okay, another thing that intrigues me about the jungle is the grub eating. Can you describe that just a little bit? What does that look like?
Okay, so in the plaza,
what did you call them?
Chontacuros.
Chontacuros. Okay.
Chontacuros. They're tasty. Well, here's the deal.
Are they tasty?
I've had friends who have said they taste like bacon.
Okay.
I don't really think they taste like bacon. I think they taste like a bug. But different perspectives, you know?
How big are they?
Okay, so
like the size of my thumb?
Maybe think like a nickel, but squish the size of the nickel.
Okay.
So that it's a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the size of chontacuro.
Okay.
But then this is the thing. Ready for it?
Yeah.
So you walk up to the gal. You see a bowl of squiggly chontacuros. Okay. They're all alive.
Okay.
Right? Then you say, I would like to buy some. She literally stabs 3 onto a stick. Skewers them.
Yeah.
Skewers them onto a stick. Grills them in front of you. So you see like the last wiggles out of these chontacuros. And I think for me, that's when I'm kind of done already.
Yeah.
I think I can't do it once that has happened. But students love it.
So students do enjoy it. Okay.
Like every semester, people do it.
It's kind of like, man, their adventure comes out. I'm going to do this and say that I've eaten a grub in Ecuador.
It feels like you have to do it when you're there, you know? Like when else do you get to eat a bug?
Yeah.
I mean, you could go to your backyard, I guess, but it's the experience.
Definitely the experience.
So I feel like I've done it one time.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Retired.
Retired. Meg no longer eats bugs.
Wow.
I also tried an ant. It was not good.
Yeah.
But it's really fun. And typically it's 3 bugs to a skewer. So I feel like it's a social experience.
How much do you pay for these bugs?
You know, I don't remember exactly, but pretty cheap.
Okay. I'm like, wow, how much would you spend on eating grub? But
yeah,
that's great.
I mean, I feel like the Dutch in me wouldn't spend more than $1. So
really make sure if you're in Ecuador at the jungle, eat your grub. It's going to be awesome. You're going to go down a canoe ride at sunset. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. I also think like it's the first time, kind of context, we go to the jungle a week or 2 weeks into homestays. And so it's the first time that our whole cohort is back together.
Yeah.
And so, gosh, besides the excursions that we're doing, there's intense Dutch Blitz tournaments. There's nightly ice cream runs.
Yeah.
You know, 40 is an Ecuadorian game.
Love that game.
That students often learn while they're in Ecuador. And usually there's some betting around who's going to buy who ice cream around the game of 40.
Wow.
It's a good time.
Yeah. That sounds like a great time. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to go back someday,
please.
Well, let's transition to the next trip that happens. I mean, our trips that happen at the end of the semester are going to be cohort split. So you're going to split up the class and half of them will go to Galapagos Islands and the other half goes to Machu Picchu right at the same time.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
Yeah, let's talk about Galapagos first.
Love the Galapagos.
Yes.
What's the Galapagos like?
Ooh. First off,
if no one has context of the Galapagos, you actually get on a plane and fly there.
Yeah.
It takes a couple hours off of the land of Ecuador to get to the Galapagos Islands. So it is the islands of Ecuador, which is amazing.
Correct. Yeah, so the Galapagos has multiple islands. You'll fly into...
Do you know how many islands?
Oh.
I think there's in the 300s of small little islands.
I was going to say 7. So this is problematic.
I think there are 7 livable islands.
Okay. I feel more confident.
7 like big islands, but I think only 3 or 4. You can Google this, so figure it out yourself. Yeah. But 3 or 4 that people actually live on.
Yeah.
But there's 7, I think, that are big that you can go see. And then there's a ton of little mini islands that are around the Galapagos.
I'm curious, could we name them?
Yeah. What do you got?
Okay.
I couldn't name them.
You can't name any of them?
Isabela Island, Santa Cruz.
Yeah. Baltra. Lorena, I think, is one.
Okay.
Did you say Isabela already?
Isabela, that's the most common one.
I think that's all I got.
And Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
The big one that you guys actually
Santa
go to.
Fe is also another one.
Okay. Well, give me a little picture about what does the Galapagos Islands typically look like for the students when they go there?
I mean, first off, you're in the Galapagos, so hello,
awesome.
Open your eyes. It's so beautiful. It's so fun. Also, who gets to say they've been to the Galapagos? I feel like that is a dream destination. I've been there a couple times. I'm like, sometimes I tell my friends like, oh yeah, this week I have to go to the Galapagos for my job. And they're like, you're doing what? I'm like, yeah, I have the best job ever. So sorry about it. But I think first off, yeah, you're just in such a beautiful space. So you get to enjoy the rich creativity of the Galapagos. And I think kind of some context, it's a really protected national park. And so there are animals everywhere and the water is so clear, so beautiful. And so I think in general, it's stunning. But some fun activities we get to do specifically with students is you'll go to a tortoise farm.
Okay.
And I'm talking,
big are they?
No, massive.
Okay.
Okay.
As big as me.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm 6'1", so probably as big as me.
Okay.
Not as tall, but
they are massive.
They are massive. And it's kind of funny because, you kind of think of like in different areas of the world, it's like, oh, deer crossing or why the chicken crossed the road. Yeah. I think the joke in the Galapagos is like, why the tortoise crossed the road. Literally.
That's hilarious.
And it feels like, okay, so context, like you're in a bus, you're driving to the tortoise farm. If there's a tortoise crossing, you just stop.
Yeah.
Because you get like major fined if you run into a tortoise.
Well, they're like very, what's the word? Like
protected?
Protected.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're protected species on the island.
For sure. Anyway, so you arrive to the tortoise farm, you do a whole tour of this tortoise farm and kind of learn the history of them, context of how they reproduce, how long they live, all the things, which is super interesting.
I'm sure if you're at a school in Arkansas, you've never seen a tortoise. So
yeah.
You got to get to
Arkansas,
the Galapagos Islands.
Ohio, probably
not. Not even in California.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Have you seen a tortoise in California?
Never.
Okay, me neither.
Bummer. Well, okay, tortoise farm, so that's super fun.
Yeah.
And then we do a large day where we jump on a boat. We are boating for a while, and then we go snorkeling. Stunning. Like, I'm talking sea turtles.
That's my favorite
tons
day,
of fish.
I think.
Me too. Like, it's a blast. And just the conversations you get to have on the boat are so fun. And if you have any motion sickness at all, please take all
Dramamine.
the Motrin or what's it called?
Dramamine.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know how you say it, but it's such a long day and it's so beautiful. So typically, depending on how high the tide is, you can go on the secret island that is only able to be accessed via boats. And so you like anchor, you swim or take a little mini boat over to the island and you stay there for a little bit. And it's like the purest white sand you've ever seen in your life. And the water is so clear and it's stunning.
What do you actually see when you're snorkeling?
Yeah, I think...
Have you ever run into a shark while you were in the water?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't last summer when I went, but...
I have.
Is it kind of
so
scary?
Fun. Well, I mean, depends on the person. I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I was like a little quick, like
nervous.
Yeah, because it's a shark, like all the movies, all the stories.
Yeah,
but they're really like
all
I think
all the stories,
the stories of past students.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Just kidding. We have never been in danger.
Let me clarify.
Let
me clarify. No, for sure not. But it's been super fun and I think the guides we go with are super knowledgeable. And so often once we pop back out of the water, they're like, what did you see? And a small description, all of a sudden they're telling you every species you saw, the name, the origin of their name.
I mean, when I was there, it's like colorful fishes. Yes. We swam with sea lions, which is awesome. And they're like arm's length away. It's like, wow, this is really cool.
No, for sure. And
the tortoise in the waters, you just like...
sea turtles,
Yeah, the sea turtles.
Uh-huh.
Just following them around. It's so fun.
I've seen stingrays before.
Okay.
Also, there's a word for it, but I can't remember the moment. Like a family of sea lions. It's called a something of sea lions. You know what I'm talking
about? No.
Well, okay. Anyways, a family of sea lions. There's a more interesting way to say this, but a family of sea lions was swimming and they were like wanting to play with us.
No way.
Like we were spinning around with them, going up and down the water with them. It was a blast.
Wow.
A blast. So yeah, colorful fishes, sea turtles, stingrays, sea lions. Really depends on time of year, kind of what's out there, but you will see beautiful things, which is super fun. So that is our snorkeling day. And then the fun thing is you pop back up on the boat and then they prepare lunch for you on the boat. So you're eating
the ceviche boat.
Yes.
Please. So
yes.
yum.
It's so good. So good. I know for anybody who doesn't like seafood, I feel really sad for you this day because it is to die for good.
It's so good.
So good. So you eat ceviche, you hang out, drink some tea sometimes, and then you do another little jaunt on the boat to a different location, and then you snorkel again and again see really beautiful things, and then come back to the main island or stay. And then, yeah, I think the food is awesome.
Hang out in the pool.
Cards, pool.
So fun.
All the fun things. Again, Dutch Blitz tournaments.
This is while you're studying abroad.
Yeah.
Like, you literally have a semester of academics, but during your academics, you're doing such fun things.
Super fun.
So just to put a little context on your semester, you actually go to Quito like right at the beginning of the semester, and you do, 10 weeks of like school and homestays and internships. But then the last like 3 weeks of your program, you're doing these fun trips, Galapagos Islands, Machu Picchu, and the beach.
Yeah. I think it's the highlight of it too, because you're already done with classes. So homework is not on your mind. Yep. Like you know each other at this point in time. Yes. So it's so fun. Yeah. It's so fun. Yeah. I think there's optional scuba diving. And so
have you done it yet?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I did it twice in one day. It was my best life. Like literally my best life. It was so fun. It just is, I mean, I think it's an interesting process of having to remind yourself you can breathe. Yeah. And you kind of feel like Ariel in The Little Mermaid for a second there. You're like, I am in the water and I can breathe. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. But it's so fun. And yeah, so you have a free day in the Galapagos and students can choose how to spend that free day in whatever way they want. So some rent bikes and bike the island. Some find fun coffee shops. Some go to museums, whatever it may be. But scuba diving is an option that's available. A little bit expensive, but so worth it. And so I'd say save. You don't need the coffee today.
What's the typical price of it?
Yeah, about $200.
Okay.
But depends on number of group.
I mean, I feel like that's not too bad for
it's not terrible at all.
A scuba dive day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, when else do you get to scuba dive? But you do a whole training session the night before. You have a ton of guides who are really helpful in leading you through that. But it just is a really sweet opportunity to see the Lord's creation in a really new way. And I think for me, that was what was the most exciting of it, was like, whoa, this is a part of the Lord's creation I've never seen before. Like, you're on the ocean floor. Like, that's awesome. And so, yeah, saw sharks, saw fish, saw a ton of different like sea plants. There's a better way to say that, but I don't know how to say it.
Reef?
Yeah. Like really pretty things. Yeah. And so that was so fun. So fun. And our guides are hilarious. There's this guy named Renee, and he is like your classic have lived in the Galapagos forever.
Oh, jokester.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I'm talking leather skin, has been there for...
skin.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's cool. They're very tan. They're
super
out
tan.
In the sun all day.
All day. Like, so knowledgeable about the ocean. Like, snorkeling or scuba diving, is life. Like, he is all about it. And so he is hilarious and like super suave when it comes to how he talks about...
Suave means soft.
I guess in this context, I'm like... How do you describe that?
Yeah. I mean, in English, the suave would probably mean like they're kind of smooth, you know, like how they communicate.
Like a cool guy.
Yeah, cool guy.
You know, like he walks into the room and he's just awesome. Yeah, so he's really fun and is a blast to do the experience with for sure. But that's scuba diving. Another thing we do all together is Las Grietas, is what it's called. And just imagine, like,
It's like a little alleyway of water and a big old just little hole in the cliffs that you get to swim in.
It's basically like a really thin canyon. And you're surrounded by volcano rock on both sides. So then imagine this, like you just walked, it's probably like a 45-minute walk, I would say at least, to get into Las Grietas. And then you see this little pier and you jump in. It's the most refreshing thing you have ever experienced. Yeah. It's so fun. And again, the water is so clear and it just is a really cool experience to be like in the middle of a canyon surrounded by volcano rock and you're like swimming this little swimming hole almost.
So
but
fun.
Super deep, really fun. So there's people sometimes bring like snorkel goggles to snorkel there too, but really just fun to adventure and experience.
And then the last thing you guys do is Tortuga Island.
Tortuga Bay. Yeah.
Tortuga Bay.
Yes. And so Tortuga Bay is a stunning beach or bay area. White sand, clear water.
The bluest water you've ever seen.
Yeah, you're like suntanning with iguanas.
Sunscreen, please.
Yes. Let me just say it.
There is a shaded area though, so.
But SPF like at least 70.
Yeah.
Your poor skin will struggle.
Yeah.
But my poor skin struggles. So
mine too.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But it's so fun. It's worth it. So it's like about a 45-minute walk to the bay. And then, yeah, it's really just a really fun time to hang out with one another. Relax. So we bring spike ball. We, tan.
Swim.
There's iguanas everywhere. So you can just, if you leave your stuff, they just walk across your towels like they own the place, which they kind of do. Yeah. So it's like, you go, girl.
They're like, you're in my home.
No, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we eat lunch together. We pack lunch for that day. And really just you can spend a little bit to kayak and a little bit to snorkel. But it's just beautiful. Like, it's so fun to hang out. People make sandcastles. It's a good time. Little soccer on the beach, little volleyball, frisbee.
And then you cruise back to the main island. Yep. Back to Quito. Mm-hmm. And you have like a day or two, 3 days, 4 days, how many
2 days,
in between?
Usually.
Until you go on your next cohort trip, which would be Machu Picchu.
Yep.
So what is Machu Picchu like?
Yeah, I would say in the way that I would describe Galapagos as like relaxing, beauty, I would describe Machu Picchu as like adventure, adrenaline, like history. Yeah. But also there's so many pockets of rest as well, but it's just a really different trip. And so often I get asked the question, like, which one's better, Galapagos or Machu Picchu?
Yeah,
and it's
like, I don't know.
It's impossible to compare them. Like, they're so different.
Wonder of the world, and then one of the most beautiful islands in the world.
Yes, exactly.
How do you compare those? You
but
can't.
Also, like, let's hear you again. Like, wonder of the world and the most beautiful islands. Like, we get to do that.
Yeah, people like wig out on the Galapagos Islands because you see species that you can't see, and like the blue-footed boobies. You can't see that anywhere else in the world but the Galapagos Islands.
They're beautiful.
Okay, back to Machu Picchu. We have you guys get there. I think one of the biggest things that I've heard students be pumped on, it's their first time in this semester that they get to have Starbucks again.
Oh, talk about it.
Ecuador, Quito doesn't have Starbucks, so they get to Peru, they get to Cusco, and you have a little Starbucks.
I think it's always a funny thing where I have to tell students, like, we need to get on the next flight. Do not look in the airport because there's the all-hail Starbucks in place. But, Starbucks is for sure a highlight. I mean, it's like a 10-minute walk from our hotel.
But come on, you'll get Starbucks again when you return to the U.S. But
it's not a must, but it's a fun.
It's a fun little addition to your semester.
You know, my chai with that brown sugar pumps. It's pretty bomb. Yeah. You know? And also, people collect those little cups. You know.
Yeah.
And so the Peru Cusco cups are a highlight always. Anyways, Starbucks super fun. But I think really what makes Machu Picchu a blast is the adventures we get to do. Yeah. So yes, Machu Picchu, we'll get there, but while we are in Cusco, we actually ATV.
Okay.
Quads.
Yeah, I've always heard students love that even more than the actual like going to see the what do you call it? The monument?
The ruins.
The ruins. That's the word.
Yes.
The ruins.
No, but it's like ATVing is so fun.
The students love the ATV.
No, imagine this. So again, we do all the safety standards. You kind of learn how to ride the quad. We do a test run. If anybody is super fearful, absolutely, you can pop on with a guide, pop on with a staff member. We for sure want everyone to feel comfortable. But like, this is what you have to imagine. You get off, you get into this little random house in the backyard of this random backyard area in someone's house, and they have like 20 plus ATVs, right?
Yeah.
So you pop on, you got your helmet, you put the shades down, then you just go. And we go through the Sacred Valley of Peru. And when I'm telling you, like, Quito is stunning. Ecuador is beautiful. Peru is like so beautiful. And I mean, I think everywhere you go is stunning, but while you're going through the Sacred Valley of Peru, it's like, what in the world? And
where am I?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Exactly. It's one of those situations where like you're sharing the experience with a lot of people. Yeah. But you're like kind of on your own because you're on your own ATV. You can't like talk to anybody. So like you're in your own world. So I remember I had a student with me last time, and I'm always like singing to myself, talking to myself, praying, little whoop whoop here and there, it just happens. And then you just point out to one another like what you see, and it's so fun because students behind you are like, oh my gosh, I saw that too. It's so fun. And it's a good time. So we typically ride for like probably half an hour, and then we take a pause at a viewing spot, and we take pictures, look at really pretty things, and get to experience it together. And then you do that probably 2 or 3 times for the duration of the time together. But it's a blast, and it's just
so fun.
Slow, fast, everything in between. Like you're into this long line. Like imagine, sometimes I laugh thinking about people who watch us because it's like just 20 ATVs passing them. Like, oh, hey-oh.
There's so many ATVs coming on by.
One time I got lost from the group. It doesn't happen, I promise. It just is a me thing. But what happened is there was this pig and all her piglets that just came in the middle of the road.
You and the little families.
I just love the little families. But they were so cute.
The little sea lion family.
I'm going to figure out what they call them. But there was like 9 little piglets that were following their mom through town. And I didn't want to obviously interrupt them. So I just kind of watched them go. But it was so cute. Like you just pass all the animals. You pass all the people. You just really get a taste of life in Peru.
What's happening.
As you're whipping by it, in the ATV. And so it was so fun. So fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, ATVing is an awesome adventure. Then we go to salt mines.
Okay.
So like pink Himalayan salt.
Is that the different colors?
Yes.
The mountain with different colors?
No, that's Rainbow Mountain.
Oh. Is that also on this excursion time?
Yeah, so context, there's a free day also in Peru that you can choose what to do. And so Rainbow Mountain is an optional extra activity that you can do on that free day on your own dime.
Would you say that's worth it?
So fun. The thing is, it's not always open. So for example, like this past semester, it was closed because currently there's like 2 indigenous groups that are inhabiting the land that Rainbow Mountain's on. So the indigenous groups are a little bit in a conversation about who owns it.
Okay.
And so it was closed because they couldn't agree.
Okay.
But it just depends on time of year, all things. So it's nothing we can promise that's always available, but if it is available,
you could go maybe see it.
For sure.
Sweet.
So that is a really fun time. But salt mines is, imagine like 400 plus pools of salt. In this little crater area, I guess what you could say. Okay. No, I don't know how you would describe it. Like 400 plus pools of salt, and you go like walk around and look at it. You can buy salt. So currently in my cabinet in Ecuador, I have like barbecue salt. I have like pink Himalayan salt. Wow. I have like garlic, whatever salt. Like they just have a ton of different types of salt.
Do you think their mom back at home would want one of these?
No, it's a fabulous gift.
Yeah.
Fabulous gift. And it's like not super expensive, and you can buy smaller packages. And so like my 3 best friends, I bought all of them a pack. So I'm like, hey, this is so fun. And they have also ones for like Epsom salts for
the bath.
Yeah. They smell really good. They have like passion fruit smelling ones. So it's super fun. So you kind of get to learn about the process of how is this salt extracted, all the things, how they do it. And it's fun because it's like a whole community who lives around this salt keeps track of all the salt. And so you will get to learn from the people in the community, like how that is done and how important it is to them. And it's just fun to watch people be so passionate about what they do. So so that is a salt adventure. So ATVs, salt, Starbucks, free day options of just exploring Cusco. Yeah. Also, the city of Cusco, where we stay in, is a little bit farther away from Machu Picchu, but it's so rich in history. Like that is still where there is like original Incan structures, and you can go through the temple. You can see a lot of different history there. And so Cusco is a beautiful city and just one fun to explore. And they have also cherry Coke, which Lauren, my coworker, loves. So he always goes and finds the cherry Coke, which is a blast. And so good time. But Machu Picchu, the actual day, is an experience. Like it is so
there, right?
Yeah. So you leave our hotel. We bus probably about 2-ish hours to a train station, and then you all pop on a train. And I'm talking like train where it's like 2 people face 2 people with a little table in between. So we play cards, we chat. I learned this game this past semester called Contact. Coffee sometimes depends.
Okay.
Depends on the time of year and things like that. But then there's opportunities to like in the middle of the train ride to pop off to like an open car, so you can like see see what you're passing by. And this past time, we were driving back when it was sunset or riding back when it was sunset. And it was one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was so stunning.
Wow.
So stunning. But anyway, so you train there, you arrive to Aguascalientes, which is the name of the little town where the ruins are. Then you hop on a bus, you take a 30-minute bus ride to the actual ruins. And then we enter, we can get you a Machu Picchu stamp in your passport, which is always a blast and a fun thing for people to experience. And then you walk through the ruins of Machu Picchu.
That's cool.
Which is
your
so
big
cool.
peak.
Yes, like the classic
photos.
Yes, for sure. And our guides are so knowledgeable and tell us everything there is to know. And it's really fun to kind of see their passion and something that they live nearby and feel really passionate about. And so fun to kind of learn all the history of it as well. But yeah, some really cool views. You get to learn some really interesting facts of history and things like that. And just such a wild adventure. So you walk through the ruins for a couple hours and then kind of reverse the whole system. So back down 30 minutes of the bus, we eat lunch together and then hop on the train back, bus back until you and your tired body head back into your hotel room.
Wow.
To sleep.
Well, I can't wait for my opportunity to get to Machu Picchu.
One day,
it's going to be awesome.
It's so fun.
All right, and in closing, we got the beach, the beach debrief. So during the semester, they're seeing all 4 regions of Ecuador, and then they go to Peru as well. So you live in Quito, which is the Sierras, and then you go to the Galapagos Islands, and then you go to the jungle, and last but not least, you go to the coast at the end of the semester.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? What does that trip entail?
Yeah. So like you mentioned, Ash, the beach is on the very end of our time together. And so really this itinerary is designed to give students a lot of free time because we want to send you off well. We want to enjoy and close out our time together with one another on the beach. And so really during the day, it's a lot of free time. So we typically do breakfast all together. We'll do a Devo together. Sometimes we'll do our annual game of wiffle ball.
Love the wiffle ball game.
Always so fun.
So
fun. There's always an art station set up for students who process in that way. But again, I think we really just want a lot of free time because we recognize everyone kind of processes differently. So you could read, journal,
they're processing through their semester.
Yes.
And then the other thing that you guys kind of want to help them process through is their reentry back into the States.
Yeah. Yeah. So we, with intention, kind of go through some different information, maybe some content is a better way to say that, and work through some content together in evening sessions together. So post dinner, we'll do some evening sessions on some major topics that kind of can help you begin thinking about what's it going to be like to re-enter into my home culture, into my university, into my families, and what things do I need to be thinking about before I go back. And I think every student processes differently. Every student re-enters differently, but there are some common experiences that we can help prepare you for. And so that is really the intention of that beach debrief is, yes, we want to enjoy the coast. We want to enjoy time together. Something really unique about Ecuadorian beaches is the water is beyond warm.
It's so warm.
You can spend hours in there.
Yeah.
Hours in there. Like I come out with wrinkly fingers every single time because you've been there for so long.
Little raising hands.
Yes, always. But it's so fun. And so really it's, again, designed to give you space to begin processing those things. But we also, like staff is available. Pull somebody on a walk, like take a walk up and down the beach. Just sit with one another with students who are going through the same thing you are and get to share about what you're thinking, what you're processing, helping you prepare to think about what will reentry look like, what will home look like. And that time is really intentional in the sense that we give you a lot of time to process. And so it's also a benefit that you all know each other. So it's fun to celebrate our semester together. So again, I think we want to prepare you. We want to have fun together. We also want to celebrate a really well done semester together. And so that's probably one of my favorite trips of a semester.
I love it too because I get to join in on it.
My favorite because Ash is there, of course, which is a blast. But it just is really sweet to get to experience the joys of being in close relationship with one another and also processing through what will be next.
That's awesome.
So but
one big highlight of the beach is you walk to Bernabe, which is a little restaurant tucked away
Yes.
about 15 minutes down
Yes.
the beach. And the food there is excellent. It's so fun.
good.
You can get batidos, which is kind of like a milkshake style of drinks.
Yeah.
So yum. So
Yes.
be prepared
If you don't like
for
seafood, again, I feel so sad for you this week because it is some of the best seafood I've ever had.
Yeah, it is so yum.
So good.
So get excited. You're going to be having a good time at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And as we close out, thank you for joining in today. But remember that these 4 trips are kind of big trips within our program. We also have like mini excursions that happen throughout the whole semester.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an adventure person, you are in for a treat. Hope it's a good day for you. Bye.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Meg, for taking a few minutes to sit down with us and have a conversation just about excursions and trips around both the country of Ecuador, Peru, and just the region as a whole. What a fun way to close out our season. And so you've heard it here first, folks. This is our final episode of the season. Season 1 has been a blast. This project has taken us to conversations with people in Ecuador, people here in the US, people in Baltimore, our program there, and a lot of students and staff from our program in Ecuador. We're excited for season 2. We've got our eyes set and putting some wonderful conversations together for anybody interested in learning more about what life change looks like through study abroad. And so we're going to do that through a lot of different perspectives, different conversations with alumni, current students, partners, both at colleges and universities, as well as on the ground community members near and close to where we run our programs. So I think that's what we could expect. We're going to take a few months off, take a beat, and be back at this for season 2. With just some wonderful conversations. So everybody, thank you for tuning in and journeying with us through this. If you haven't yet, please do like and subscribe to this podcast and share it with somebody who you think might find it interesting and engaging. Yeah, heard it here first, folks. Ciao.